Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. I am Nurul AFIQAH binti ZULKEFLAY, a student from Bachelor of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering Technology, Process and Technology with Honours Program. First of all, I would like to thank all my examiners who are watching this video and to my supervisor, Technologist Dr. Nazri Huzaimi bin Zakaria. Thank you for allowing me to present my thesis proposal entitled The Study of Physical and Environmental Characterization on Sago Starch. So today, I would like to present the highlights of my thesis proposal, which includes the introduction, problem statement, and objective, project scope, literature review, methodology, and the expected result for this study. For introduction, I would like to brief a little bit about the metroxylon sago or sago palm and about the bioplastic materials. Metroxylon sago or sago palm tree is the genus Metroxylon species that can be found from 17 degrees south to 15 to 16 degrees north latitude, ranging all the way from Thailand, Peninsular Malaysia, Indonesia, widens to Micronesia, Fiji and Samoa. The palm is generally can be found at a low elevation in swamp area and can grow up from 9 to 33 meters in height. So in Asia, we usually found sago starch in our kitchen, but do we know how it is processed from tree to become sago starch? So some people are still using conventional method to extract the sago starch from the palm tree. So preparing sago starch need excellent stamina and effort to get the extract. So first of all, the palm will be selected ranging from the age of 10 years and above, and then it will be cut and the palm will fall off onto the ground. So it may need to be transported to other places out from the branches of the sago palm trees. Then it will be cut open lengthwise. As a Malay saying goes, kalau tidak dipecahkan ruyung, mana kan dapat sagunya. So this saying is actually figuring the extraction process of sago starch, where it needs to be cut open to remove and get the pith. And then to extract the starch, the pith of the palm will be crushed, threshed or hand kneading while being washed and strained by water to extract the starch from the fibrous residual. And then the collection of the raw starch suspension will settles in the container, and the decanting of the water layer will give a semi-solid pan of starch. And then this semi-solid starch will be dried for a few minutes before it will be taken to the end user for cooking or other industrial purposes. Next is about bioplastic materials. So bioplastic is a material that consists one or more substance with different properties and application. It is either bio-based, biodegradable, or may have both properties. Meanwhile, a bio-based material is derived from biomass plants such as corn and sugarcane cellulose. As we can see from the table, the starch blend is a part of bio-based and biodegradable material. So it is confusing where people are commonly mistaken that all bioplastic material are biodegradable, but actually it is not. And then biodegradable is a material that able to undergo the breakdown process where microorganisms that are available in the environment will convert the materials into natural substances such as carbon dioxide, water or compost. And then biodegradation process really depends on the surrounding conditions such as the location, temperature and the material properties on the application of material. So sago starch blends is called thermoplastic sago starch and is biodegradable material. The problem statement of this study is there are few research and development of thermoplastic sago starch compared to other natural resources such as corn, cassava starch and quinoa. Next, plastic materials that are non-biodegradable have affected the environment tremendously. So researchers are now eager to optimize the usage of natural resources to counter this issue. Next, the previous study usually used glycerol as plasticizer and compare it with other type of plasticizer. But in this study, we are going to use only glycerol as the Sago Starch plasticizer, but with different percentage of glycerol mix. Move to the objective of this study. First, we are going to fabricate Sago Starch matrix by adding various glycerol loadings. Secondly, we are going to investigate the physical behavior influenced by the different glycerol contents. And thirdly, we are going to analyze the environmental behavior of Sago Starch influenced by the different glycerol content as well. For the flowchart of this study, it will start with the material selection process where the raw material will be purchased from the supplier, and then the selected raw material, which are Sago Starch and glycerol, will be mixed by using bra bender mixer in order to get a better mix preparation. So at this phase, the glycerol content is added by different percentage ranging from 10% to 19% of glycerol. The next process is the sample fabrication, where the liquid form of thermoplastic Sago Starch is poured into the mold and undergo the hot press machine with 10 minutes, 140 degrees Celsius with 10 tons of fluid. After it is cured and plasticized, the sample will be taken to undergo the testing procedure, which includes two types of testing: characterization. And then the results are then recorded, analyzed, and will be discussed with the supervisor. After that, the study is written and ready for the submission. In the other hand, the project scope is to fabricate the thermoplastic Sago Starch with different percentage of glycerol. Then it will be tested on the physical and environmental testing procedure. So physical testing that we are going to do includes the density measurement, water absorption, and moisture content. Meanwhile, for the environmental testing, we will do the water solubility of the sample and the soil burial test. The literature review that I want to highlight are as shown in the table. So the journals recorded their study and focus on the testing scope that are relatable on my study. Most of the journals have done their mechanical, thermal, morphological testing and other types of testing that would help me to understand about the testing procedure and knowledge beforehand. For example, the study of glycerol plasticized thermoplastic Sago Starch by Zoraida and others have conducted the density test. Thus, in this study, it would help me to refer the experimental method on how to conduct the testing to be fit or suit with my parameters of glycerol and Sago Starch mixture. For methodology of this study, it is basically the same process with the flowchart process I have mentioned before, but it consists of few subjects such as raw materials, equipment, and the testing procedure that will be done. So for the raw materials, Sago Starch and 99.5% contents of glycerol is purchased from the supplier. On the other hand, the equipment that will be used are mold, hot press machine, cutting machine, and other suitable lab equipment based on the literature review analysis. It is also honorable mention that all the testing procedures will be done by referring to ASTM standards and by previous study of researchers testing experimental procedure. For testing procedure, we will do two types of testing, which is for physical and environmental testing. So physical testing includes the density measurement, water absorption, and moisture contents. For density measurement, the sample is cut into smaller pieces and weighed by densimeter machine, and then the sample is placed into water and be taken out. The formula used for this method is the rho equal to mass over the volume of water. Next, the water absorption testing is by following the ASTM 5D570, where the sample is dry over 100 degrees Celsius, and then it will be soaked into water for 24 hours. Then the sample beforehand must be cut into this shape to allow evenly permeable of water to the sample. And then the increase in weight is actually the amount of the water absorption of the sample. Next, for the moisture content, the sample is weighed and heated by 105 degrees Celsius for 24 hours in the oven, and then the moisture is calculated by the amount of final weight minus initial weight over the initial weight times by 100%. And then for soil barrier testing, the sample firstly must be weighed and dried for 24 hours, and then it will be buried in the compost soil in 2 to 4 weeks in interval. And then after that, we will see either the sample is completely have the biodegradation process or not. And then lastly, for the water solubility test, the sample must be dry and then immersed with in water and then stir. And then the stirred sample is then left about to 8 hours and then dry again, and then will be calculated by the formula referring to the previous study of other researchers. The expected result for this study is by testing procedure, where it should meet the demonstration of knowledge and methodology of conducting the experimental procedure on composite material. So this thesis specifically focus on the properties and characterization on the Sago starch. And then by using the physical testing, it is expected that the parameters of different glycerols will somehow give fine granular structure of thermoplastic sago starch, thus increasing the quality of the thermoplastic sago starch. Meanwhile, the environmental testing is expected to meet the characterization of environmental scope, where the behavior upon the soil and water solubility can be analyzed. So this study honorably referred by pages of references from other researchers that successfully share their precious knowledge for a better future vision. So I would like to thank all of the listed references for allowing me to get some knowledge on carrying this study now and forward. Overall, it is expected for this study to meet the expected result and would find a better physical and environmental characterization parameters of sago starch and glycerol mix in contribution for future benefit, especially in terms of green and sustainability of biodegradable materials. And then last but not least, I would like to thank all examiners, especially for my supervisor, for guiding and helping me throughout the semester. So that is all from me, Nurul AFIQAH binti ZULKEFLAY from 3 BMMP Section 2. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and take care.